No one in this world knows what tomorrow holds. Some people might not even be here to see it. That's exactly what happened to a few content creators who had no idea the video they were filming would be their very last. The first story is about a young man named Pedro Ruiz. Pedro was a 22-year-old aspiring YouTuber from a small town in Minnesota. He had a 19-year-old girlfriend named Mona Lisa Perez, and together they ran a YouTube channel, mostly family vlogs and harmless little pranks. But chasing viral fame and more views, Pedro came up with a dangerous idea. He started a separate channel meant for wilder, more shocking content. He'd been trying to convince Mona Lisa for a while to do a video with him, one where she'd fire a gun at an encyclopedia he'd be holding against his chest, believing the thick book would stop the bullet. He'd apparently tried something similar before, and it had worked. After about 2 months of him pushing for it, she finally agreed. On June 26, 2017, from about a foot away, Mona Lisa fired a .50 caliber Desert Eagle. The bullet went straight through the book and killed Pedro. They'd set up 2 cameras outside the house to catch the stunt from different angles, one on a ladder, one mounted behind a car. Neither recording ever made it online, because police seized both cameras as evidence right after it happened. Mona Lisa called 911 immediately afterward and told police exactly what they'd been trying to film for their channel. She was arrested, pled guilty, and was sentenced to prison. In 2021, she started a new channel, but these days, it barely gets any traction. It's a hard reminder of how far people are willing to go for views, and sometimes they create the very disaster that ends up going viral. Jacob was a 28-year-old award-winning surfer and photographer from Cornwall, England. He was deeply respected in the local surfing community and known for his extreme stunts in the ocean, especially inside whirlpools, the swirling vortexes that form where fast-moving water gets pulled through underwater channels. He'd picked up real recognition for his work, including the Guardian's Travel Photographer of the Year award in 2012. His appetite for risk was tied to a personal tragedy. His 17-year-old sister, Grace, died of a brain tumor, and afterward he wrote on his bedroom wall that he was going to become a world-famous photographer and let nothing stand in his way. He documented his dangerous water stunts on his YouTube channel, Whirlpool Hitman. May 28, 2013, Jacob went out to film an especially dangerous whirlpool. He put on a wetsuit and a horse mask and deliberately swam into the middle of the swirling water, asking a friend to stand off to the side and film him. He told his friend the water was under control, that he had it handled, but the whirlpool kept getting faster and more violent, a reminder that nature isn't something you can ever really predict or control. Trying to get one last underwater shot, Jacob asked his friend for a GoPro mounted on a pole and dove back into the current. He never came back up. When he didn't resurface, his friend panicked and started searching the tunnels and the surrounding water. About 15 minutes later, he found Jacob's body floating face down on the other side of the harbor. He was airlifted to a hospital, but doctors weren't able to save him. The timing made it even harder. Jacob died just 1 day before he was scheduled to scatter his grandmother's and his sister's ashes. In the end, his own ashes were scattered together with his sister's. Today, his surfboard sits in his mother's front garden as a memorial to him. Tetsu Shiohara, known online simply as Tetsu, was a 47-year-old live streamer from Japan. He lived a fairly isolated life and was battling stage 4 colon cancer. On October 28, 2019, he decided he was going to climb Mount Fuji, and he wanted to live stream the whole thing on the Japanese platform Nikoniko. The problem was timing. He picked the worst possible season. It was deep off-season, brutally cold, most trails were officially closed, and the climb was considered extremely dangerous, even for experienced hikers. Tetsu had none of the right gear. He set out in regular street clothes and sneakers, carrying just 2 trekking poles in one hand and his phone in the other to keep the stream running. He titled it, "Let's Go to Snowy Mount Fuji." As the stream went on, his fingers started going numb from the cold. The path was covered in ice and impossibly slippery. Just meters from the summit, he lost his footing and slid off the icy slope, and his viewers watched it happen live. People naturally wonder why he'd even attempt something like that. He was terminally ill, and climbing was something he'd always dreamed of doing. A shot at peace, at one last adventure, before his time ran out. Somewhere in that stream, he was clearly freezing, visibly struggling, but he kept saying he had to keep going. Viewers who were watching called the police right away. The next day, a search helicopter went up along with a 10-person ground rescue team. 2 days later, on October 30th, they found Tetsu's body near the Taiyokan mountain hut, about 2 kilometers from where he'd started. Clips from his final stream ended up circulating everywhere: TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, In 2020, he was posthumously given the Darwin Award, which is, only half jokingly, given to people who die in the most avoidable, almost absurd ways. No safety gear, no common sense, that kind of thing. He was the first person ever recognized specifically for something like this. Apator. Apator was a Norwegian content creator who worked days at a paint factory and spent his free time building an unusually large following online. Over 1.2 million subscribers on a channel known for strange, mostly wordless videos. He filmed himself doing extreme things in freezing conditions, ice skating on thin lake ice, jumping naked into frozen rivers, drinking vodka in the snow. A genuinely wild, larger-than-life personality, Apator had already survived serious health scares. He was diagnosed with colorectal cancer back in 2018, went through surgery, and pulled through. But tragically, on November 27, 2021, he died by drowning. The day before, on November 26, he'd gone out to a frozen lake near his home in Norway to film a new video. He fell through a hole in the ice, something he'd apparently done plenty of times before without any issue. This time, he couldn't get himself back out. A witness heard him and rushed over to help. Divers eventually pulled him from the water and an ambulance rushed him to the hospital, but he'd been submerged too long to be saved. What made it especially heartbreaking was the timing. Just 5 days before he died, on his birthday, he'd posted a video titled, "I'm not that, I'm 57 today." No one saw what was coming just days later. His fans paid tribute to him afterward, and for a lot of them, that relentless, energetic personality is something they'll never really forget. That's it for this one. See you in the next one. Peace and love, and take care.